Today I'm reviewing the new Super Duty rack from One Up USA. They say it's new because they redesigned this rack from the prior version. A couple things that they made different I'll point out as we go through the video, but what I have in front of me here is a single tray with an add-on. It also comes with a setup that's combined, but I went with the single tray and the add-on for a variety of reasons. Mainly I like to be able to take just one bike if I'm going, and it's also a lot easier to put on and off because it's just not that heavy then. The base tray is 37 pounds and the add-on is 29 pounds. Much easier to move around in the garage as well as put it on and off my car. With that said, let's get started. So now I'm gonna just put it on the car, simply line it up with the receiver, slide it in. It's super easy. I push it all the way down, take the security wrench, insert it, just a couple turns, and it is rock solid tight. It's that easy. It's secure, not gonna wobble at all. I also bought, actually it comes with the rack, a security bolt that you can put in through the receiver. Added protection. Thread it on. Now, as a single unit, it's good to go. With the base unit on, I'm gonna attach the first bolt so that I can put my add-on rack on. I take the security key, that one goes on the left. Again, this is important because if you buy the accessory lock to attach the add-on unit to your rack, you need enough clearance here so that the lock can be inserted. All I need to do is put that on. The rack has a larger side to it and then a smaller, so you basically put this over the head of the bolt. And then I just put this on here like that. I slide it over and then take the one with the lock, hand tighten it, hand tighten this one, security key, tighten that guy, and tighten the lock one. That's secure. And then again, now I have to put on the lock. So cover up the keyhole. Now it is secure. It's a 2-rack system. And to lower it, this black bar is a release mechanism so that you can move the rack into different positions. Right now I have it in storage, which is the top one. The second notch is in case you need a little bit more room for clearance of a bigger bumper, and the last notch is for transporting your bikes when you have them on the rack. Open that up, easy twist, and I put a little pressure on this so I can release it. You got to get both sides. All right, now the rack is ready to go. I'm going to tighten the collar again just to keep it secure. I don't think that thing would move by itself, but just to be sure, that's done. Another thing I'll point out is these particular holes. Those are for accessories you could put on here. If you have a concern about your front tire wobbling, you can buy an extra wheel chock that attaches here and here that gives you a little less wobble on your tires. This is a close-up of the unit that goes into your receiver hitch. A couple things I want to point out. First of all, it's solid aluminum metal, very sturdy. When you use a security key to tighten this and attach it to your car, what happens is this bolt comes out and it compresses on the inside of the receiver hitch so it doesn't wobble. The other thing I'd like to point out is it's got this slot that goes all the way through this block of aluminum. And what that's for is that it comes with this particular security lock that goes through the middle of that, and most receiver hitches just have a single hole in them to slide this through, and what this enables you to do is position it anywhere you want on your receiver hitch to make sure that that can go through the hole and secure your bike. Other ones that I have here for your view, this is the security lock that attaches the second rack to the base unit, and then these happen to be locks that go through the arms on the bike rack. They're actually wheel locks, and they're all keyed the same because I bought them all at the same time. That's a nice option. If you buy them separately, you're going to be dealing with multiple keys. I mentioned that this was a new Super Duty, and a couple things I'd like to point out that they changed in the redesign. First of all, the trays are wider apart, and that reduces the conflict that you might have with bikes with very large handlebars that might rub against each other. Really like that. The other thing they did when they redesigned this whole sliding mechanism is brand new. I really like it. To operate the arms, it's pretty easy. You push in the red tab, lift that up a little bit, and now it moves freely. Looking here, this is a solid piece of aluminum. There's ratchets on here. Once my bike is on, I push this back down, and then you can hear it clicking. It can't back up and open up at all. To release it, same thing. Just, you have to put a little pressure on it, lift that up, and then it moves freely. I just basically push the red tab in, lift this slightly with my fingers, and then this flows freely, back and forth. You don't have to hold it down when you're moving it like you did with the last model. The other thing that they did, which I think is a significant improvement, is they beefed up the arms that hold your tires. In the earlier version, it was just one unit like this. They added this solid block of aluminum so that it doesn't have as much wobble. That gives it more stability. Another thing they did is that this comes out of the box ready to accept 5-inch tires. So I can put my road bike on here with skinny tires. I can put my fat tire bike on here with 4.5-inch tires without having to mess with changing this configuration. So you don't need a fat tire spacer kit because it's so wide already. It takes anything up to a 5-inch tire. And then if I want to drop this lower because I have a kid's bike or maybe a bike with fenders, I basically unscrew this and just move it down in position. As long as it's contacting my tire above the axle, it's in a secure position. It's pretty easy to do. All you need is a crescent wrench. Another thing they did is they open this up so that you can slide these all the way down. Now, why is that important? It just makes it easier to load bikes. If you want, you can buy an add-on ramp that you can attach here, and if you have a really heavy bike, you can roll it up onto this without having to lift it. With that said, it's time to load some bikes. In comes the Salsa War Road. Just kind of position it where I want it. Make sure you push this down so it's going to ratchet. Same thing here, push that down. Hear the ratcheting going. My bike is on, ready to go. Let's put another one on. I'll put my fat tire bike on this time. Again, pushing the lever, open it up. 4.5-inch tires. You might want to move it forward a little bit. I'm watching to make sure it doesn't rub on the seat and the handlebars. Both bikes are on. No conflict here, no conflict here. You can see they wobble a little bit, but these bikes aren't touching each other at all. You want to make sure the pedals are clear and aren't touching, which I have in this case, and I'm ready to roll. To take the bikes off, it's really easy. All I need to do is pull a little pressure here, push that red button in, open it up, and it comes off. Repeat the process here. Ready to roll. easy operation. So that was my fat tire. This rack is also very, very adjustable. I want to point out something on it. If I'm going to put on a bike with fenders, you see all these different locations. I can use that to drop the contact with the tire down lower, so it would be below fenders. So as an example, if I had a fender that went this far on the front tire, obviously I don't want this touching the fender. So all I'd have to do is move this contact point down lower below where the fender is. It's easy. All you need is a crescent wrench and you get it done. What's important is you make sure that the contact for on the tire is above the axle. That way you don't lose the compression that you need to keep your bike secure. Another thing I'd like to point out is this is a wheel lock, and it's a nice extra security feature. If you buy this all at the same time as the rack, the keys will match, so you don't need to worry about which key is for the wheel locks, which key is for the rack. And I just thread it through, find a place where it doesn't conflict with the spoke. And I don't know that it would stop a thief, but it would definitely slow them down. A lot of people are stealing bikes these days with a metal grinder. I think you could buzz through that fairly quickly, but again, it's inconvenient for them. If they see that, maybe they'll keep moving on to the next bike. Easy enough to throw on if you're going to take a little pit stop, get a cup of coffee. Just something to consider. Another really nice feature about this bike rack is you can move these trays out further, so that if you have a bike with a really long wheelbase, I think it's up to 58 inches, you can basically take this whole tray, unscrew this, slide the tray out maybe 4 inches here, 4 inches here, and that gives you more space for bikes with a longer wheelbase. I don't have those. I think those would be for 29ers, maybe some of the larger mountain bikes, but it's a nice feature for flexibility if you decide to buy this rack. As I wrap this up, I just want to say thanks for joining me. I hope you got value out of the video. Please subscribe to my channel and get out there and ride.